Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirihe Nashtaprayeshu Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila introduction. So Prabhupada further says, as stated before, it's in the form of Mahavishnu that the Lord manifests the material universes. Just as a husband and wife combine to beget offspring, Mahavishnu combines with his wife Maya or material nature. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna states, Sarva yonishu konteya murteya sambhavantiya tasam brahma dionir aham bijapata. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So he is the seed-giving father of all the yonis, all the species, not just human beings, not just Hindus, all the species of life, because ultimately soul has to come from Krishna. Vishnu impregnates Maya, the material nature, simply by glancing at her. This is the spiritual method. Materially, we are limited to impregnating by only one particular part of our body, but the Supreme Lord, Krishna or Mahavishnu, can impregnate by any part. So simply by glancing, the Lord can conceive countless living entities in the womb of material nature. Now, just to understand, although Bhagavatam talks about it, when we say Maya or material nature, so who is Maya? Maya personified as Durga. The personification, Maya, is Durga. And the glance of Lord Vishnu, when he just looks at the material nature or the material universe, all the souls in the body of Mahavishnu, they go into the material nature. And Brahmaji has created different species, 8,400,000, and they go according to their karma and designs. But that glance of Mahavishnu, see, everything is conscious, as Prabhupada mentioned earlier. That glance is Sadashiv. So Sadashiv brings the living entities from Mahavishnu into Maya's universe, or into the material nature. Because Mahavishnu himself does not come in contact with material nature. So originally the souls are coming from Mahavishnu, but Sadashiv brings them into the material world. So he comes in contact with material nature. So Maya is Durga, or so many forms of Durga are there, but he comes, that Sadashiv is one who brings souls from Mahavishnu to Durga. So in a way, we can say Shivji is the father or Sadashiv is the father. Yeah, he is bringing. Mahavishnu is original, yes. Durga ji is the mother. Mother in the sense, she doesn't brings the souls out, but everybody gets a body, material body, through Durga ji or through Maya. So in a way, everything is connected. We just have to know the proper sequence, proper truth. That's all. And what's Brahmaji's role? Brahmaji creates all the species, all the 84 lakh yoni. So everybody has his own service in nature and how the universe goes on. So simply by glancing, the Lord can conceive countless living entities in the womb of material nature. The Brahma Samhita confirms that the spiritual body of the Supreme Lord is so powerful that any part of his body can perform the functions of any other part. We can touch only with our hands or skin, but Krishna can touch just by glancing. We can see only with our eyes, but we cannot touch or smell with them. Krishna, however, can smell and also eat with his eyes. When food is offered to Krishna, we do not see him eating, but he eats simply by glancing at the food. Of course, when he wants to really eat, he can finish up the whole thing also. But he accepts everything, and he just looks at it and he accepts. He's eaten. We cannot imagine how things work in the spiritual world, where everything is spiritual. It's not that Krishna does not eat, or that we only imagine that he eats. He actually eats, but his eating is different from ours. Our eating process will be similar to his when we are completely on the spiritual platform. On that platform, every part of the body can act on behalf of every other part. So our eating process will be similar to his when we are completely on the spiritual platform. So that is how it is explained, the six Goswamis or the other acharyas also. Of course, they would not eat just by glancing at the food, but because they were spiritual and Krishna was taking care of their bodies, all the bodily functions. We fast for one day, hardly fast on Ekadashi, and we can see what happens to our bodies. These Goswamis were living without practically eating or sleeping also. Prabhupada explained they would hardly sleep, maybe half an hour, 1 hour. But that was plenty for them. Vishnu does not require anything in order to create. He does not require the goddess Lakshmi in order to give birth to Brahma. For Brahma is born from a lotus flower that grows from the navel of Vishnu. The goddess Lakshmi sits at the feet of Vishnu and serves him. In this material world, sex is required to produce children. But in the spiritual world, a man can produce as many children as he likes without having to take help from his wife. So there is no sex there. Because we have no experience with spiritual energy. We think that Brahma's birth from the navel of Vishnu is simply a fictional story. We are not aware that spiritual energy is so powerful that it can do anything and everything. Material energy is dependent on certain laws, but spiritual energy is fully independent. Very nice what Prabhupada says. Spiritual energy, fully independent, just like, and now Krishna, who's in charge of both spiritual and material energy, how independent he must be. He doesn't come under any of the laws that we follow in the material world. Countless universes reside like seeds within the skin pores of Mahavishnu, and when he exhales, they're all manifested. In the material world, we have no experience of such a thing, but we do experience a perverted reflection in the phenomena of perspiration. We cannot imagine, however, the duration of one breath of Mahavishnu. For within one breath, all the universes are created and annihilated. This is stated in Brahma Samhita. Lord Brahma lives only for the duration of one breath, and according to our time scale, 4.32 billion years constitute only 12 hours of Brahma. And Brahma lives 100 of his years. Yet the whole lifespan of Brahma is contained within one breath of Mahavishnu. Thus, it's not possible for us to imagine the breathing power of Mahavishnu, who's but a partial manifestation of Lord Nityananda. Partial manifestation. You know Balaramji? And Nityananda ji is who? Balaramji. This, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita explains in the 9th verse. In the 10th and the 11th verses, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes Garbho Daksha Vishnu and Kshiro Daksha Vishnu, successive plenary expansions of Mahavishnu. Brahma appears upon a lotus growing from the navel of Garbho Daksha Vishnu, and within the stem of that lotus are so many planetary systems. Then Brahma creates the whole of human society, animal society, everything. So within the stem of that lotus are so many planetary systems. So that stem actually has a prototype of the whole universe, like the blueprint is kept there. And Brahmaji does a creation outside that stem of the lotus flower. Oops, got kicked out. So then Brahma creates a whole of human society, animal society, everything. Kshirodaksha Vishnu lies on the milk ocean within the universe, of which he is a controller and maintainer. So that's the milk ocean or Kshir Sagar. Thus, Brahma is a creator, not the original creator, he's a secondary creator. Vishnu is the maintainer, and when the time for annihilation arrives, Shiva will finish everything. In the first 11 verses of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami thus describes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Lord Nityananda as Balram, the first expansion of Krishna. Then in the 12th and 13th verses, he describes Advaita Acharya, who is another principal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and an incarnation of Mahavishnu. So Advaita Acharya is incarnation of Mahavishnu, but still he prays to Krishna for his appearance, to take care of this Kali Yuga. Even Mahavishnu said, even I cannot do it. Thus Advaita Acharya is also the Lord, or more precisely, an expansion of the Lord. The word Advaita means non-dual. And his name is such because he is non-different from the Supreme Lord. He is also called Acharya, teacher, because he disseminated Krishna consciousness. So as an Acharya, as a teacher, he disseminated, he propagated Krishna consciousness. And because he's Advaita, Advaita means non-different from Mahavishnu, or from the Lord, from the Supreme Lord. In this way, he is just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, he appeared as a devotee to teach people in general how to love Krishna. Similarly, although Advaita Acharya is the Lord, he appeared just to distribute the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. Thus, he is also the Lord, incarnated as a devotee. But his role was different than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Because it's also mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Ekela Ishvara Krishna are Sabhritya. Jar Jaiche Nachai Tar Kare Nitya, something like that. Means Ekela Ishvara, there is only one Ishvara, that is Krishna. Are Sabhritya. Everybody else is his servant. Even his plenary expansions or Swansha, everybody, they all are servants of Krishna. His own expansions are serving him. Of course, the service is out of love. And services, as a service, they take care of whatever services they order. Like Mahavishnu has to take care of the universes. All the universes come out of his body, and he takes care of all the souls when they come back into him, and then release them again in the creation. Similarly, Garbhodaksha Vishnu has a service, Kshirodaksha Vishnu. But this is what Mahaprabhu is saying, Ekela Ishvara Krishna. The way he wants them to dance, they all dance. In the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna is manifested in 5 different features, known as Panch Tattva, to whom Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his obeisances in the 14th verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So now he's coming to Panch Tattva. So who are these Panch Tattva? Krishna and his associates appear as devotees of the Supreme Lord in the form of Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, Shri Advaita Acharya, Shri Gadadhar Prabhu, and Shri Vas Prabhu. In all cases, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of energy for all his devotees. Since this is the case, if we take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the successful execution of Krishna consciousness, we are sure to make progress. In a devotional song, Narottam Das Thakur sings, "My dear Lord Chaitanya, please have mercy upon me. There is no one who is as merciful as you. My plea is most urgent because your mission is to deliver all fallen souls, and no one is more fallen than I, and therefore I beg priority." Mosama Patita Prabhu Na Paiveya. That's another Narottam Das Thakur has said. We're talking about the Panch Tattva. Now in Mayapur, we have wonderful, beautiful Panch Tattva deities. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, what was the need for this Panch Tattva? And in Panch Tattva, all the tattvas are there, all the truths are there. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, Balramji or Nityananda Prabhu, his expansion, Advaita Acharya, another expansion, and then Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani, who appeared as Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, who is Narad Muni, who is a devotee. So all these tattvas are there, and actually, it's not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only who gave this love of God. It's all this Panch Tattva. It's mentioned that they broke open the dam which was holding the water of Krishna Prem. And they broke open that, broke it open. They didn't open it, they just broke open so that the Krishna Prem can flood the whole universe in this Kali. That's why Panch Tattva, they all together, they are very, very powerful and they should be worshipped in that. And that's why before chanting, we pray to Panch Tattva. Before starting our chanting, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta. And then we start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. First we take shelter of Panch Tattva. Without Panch Tattva we can make progress. And they are so merciful that there could be offenses in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but there's no offense in chanting of Panch Tattva. But that doesn't mean we start committing offense. But they don't take any offense. They know the condition of living entities in Kali Yuga, how offensive we are. So without the mercy of Panch Tattva, we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but it's actually the mercy of Panch Tattva. We cannot make progress. With verse 15, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins offering his obeisances directly to Krishna himself. Krishnadas Kaviraj was an inhabitant of Vrindavan and a great devotee. He had been living with his family in Katwa, a small town in the district of Burdwan. And actually this village of Katwa, for 2 reasons, it's very, very famous. One is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took sannyas in Katwa. He went to Katwa from Navadvip And Katwa, the name of village Katwa became that name because he got his his head shaved or hair cut in that place. And somehow, by mercy of Mahaprabhu, we have been to that place, and under that tree where Mahaprabhu got his head shaved. And then later on also, Jagai Madhai, we'll read about them. They were ordered to make a nice bathing ghat in Katwa, and whoever comes to that bathing ghat, they should serve it, because they had committed many sins. They had practically tortured everybody in Navadvip. And later when they got rectified, purified, so they were ordered to take care of everybody who comes on that ghat to take bath. And if somebody gets angry at them, somebody spits at them, throws stone at them, they're not supposed to retaliate. This was their this is how they're going to repent for the sins. So that's why Katwa is very important. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living there. He worshipped Radha Krishna with his family, and once when there was some misunderstanding among his family members about devotion service, he was advised by Nityanand Prabhu in a dream to leave home and go to Vrindavan. Although he was very old, he started out that very night and went to live in Vrindavan. While he was there, he met some of the Goswamis, principal disciples of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was requested to write the Chaitanya Charitamrita by the devotees of Vrindavan. Although he began his work at a very old age, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, he finished it. Today it remains the most authoritative book on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy and life. So by mercy of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Prabhupada, and everybody, now we have a chance to read this wonderful literature. In fact, I think Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that people will learn Bengali to read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, but Prabhupada gave the commentary in English that we can read and really relish. But Bengali language, it's very sweet. My accent is not that good when I read Bengali shlokas, we'll read. But those who are Bangla, they can really read those shlokas very nicely. And it is said that in Bengal, the famous sweet is Rasgulla. They say it very easily. So it sounds like Bengali language is like all the Bengalis when they have put Rasgulla in their mouth and then they're speaking. It comes out so sweet. When Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was living in Vrindavan, there were not very many temples. At that time, the three principal temples are those of Madan Mohan, Govindji, and Gopinathji. As a resident of Vrindavan, Krishnadas Kaviraj offers his respects to the deities in these temples and requests God's favor. My progress in spiritual life is very slow, so I'm asking your help. In the 15th verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas offers his obeisances to the Madan Mohan Vigraha, the deity who can help us progress in Krishna consciousness. In the execution of Krishna consciousness, our first business is to know Krishna and our relationship with him. To know Krishna is to know oneself, and to know oneself is to know one's relationship with Krishna. Since this relationship can be learned by worshipping the Madan Mohan Vigraha, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami first establishes his relationship with him. So as I said, there are three steps in any spiritual progress: Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayoja. So Sambandha is to know the relationship. Abhideya to work on that relationship. And Prayojan is the final outcome of that work. So Sambandha deity is Madan Mohanji. And the next deity is Govindevji, Abhideya, and Prayojan is Gopinath. So we'll read about that tomorrow. So here Sambandha deity is Madan Mohan, and this Madan Mohan Vigraha now he resides in Karoli in Rajasthan. And Govindevji, Gopinathji, they are in Jaipur. And it is said that if we want the full mercy, we have to take the darshan in one day, in a sequence. So either we go Madan Mohanji, Govindevji, Gopinath, or other way around, Gopinath, Govindevji, and Madan Mohanji in one day between sunrise and sunset. It is possible. We have done that. So anyway, I guess we can stop and see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this Shirodaksha Vishnu enters in the living entities as a Paramatma also, no?
Yes, he expands himself as Paramatma.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to.
Happy Ram Navami to everyone.
What's that?
Prabhuji, I said Happy Ram Navami to everyone. Today is
Oh,
Ram
happy
Navami.
Ram Navami. Happy Ram Navami. Yes.
Happy Ram Navami, Prabhuji.
Happy Ram Navami to everyone.
Happy Ram Navami.
Happy Ramanavami, everyone.
Big festival in Ayodhya, I guess.
Crowded, Prabhuji, like anything. It's lakhs
Vinay
and
Prabhu
lakhs.
must be very busy.
Yes.
I am Prabhuji actually. It's like अभी आप अयोध्या के outside में देखोगे ना एक भी गाड़ी की entry नहीं है. There's no vehicle can come inside. Not even e-rickshaws or anything. पूरा completely because लोगों के चलने की जगह नहीं है, इतनी भीड़ है.
इतनी भीड़ है.
बहुत भीड़ है प्रभुजी, बहुत भीड़ है. मैंने आप what I seen ना अभी 2 दिन पहले मैं गया था तो मैंने देखा कि people are coming from राजस्थान, गुजरात, कहाँ से, मद्रास से आ रहे हैं लोग. साउथ से तो बहुत लोग आते हैं throughout the year. कर्नाटका से आते हैं, महाराष्ट्र से आते हैं प्रभु जी. So you know अयोध्या तो छोटी सी है and क्या बताएं, बहुत लोग हो जाते हैं.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chalo, theek hai. You all have a safe and wonderful Ram Navami. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.